The film works as both a playful parody and as a unique entry in the spy action genre.
Just what you've been waiting for. Movies, TV, music, and more. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop every other Monday. It's the man, watch that. It's the man, watch that. It's the man, watch that podcast.
Welcome to the Matt Watch That podcast, the place for reviews, rants, and randomness. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to watch a movie or TV pilot that I probably should have seen, but never got around to. It could be a recent favorite, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or suggestions as to what I should see next, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Before we start, parody movies are a genre of comedy that takes familiar cultural works or societal trends and exaggerates, mocks, or humorously imitates their themes, characters, or plots. Parodies tap into the audience's prior knowledge of popular media, making them more relatable. By exaggerating or distorting well-known characters, lines, or stories, they create humor rooted in recognition, which can be both nostalgic and funny. Parodies often serve as social commentary, mocking the excesses or cliches of a specific genre, styles, or trends. They can offer a more critical perspective on the original material by revealing its more ridiculous or overused aspects. By taking recognizable genre conventions and cranking them up to absurd levels, parodies emphasize the often silly or formulaic nature of certain movie tropes, turning them into a source of humor. Parodies can often appeal to a wide audience, from casual moviegoers who recognize the references, to hardcore fans who appreciate the deep cuts or more specific critiques. Every genre of film is ripe for parody. In action-adventure, you have Hot Shots, a parody of action films with exaggerated stunts, over-the-top characters, and slapstick humor. In horror, you have Scary Movie, a parody of popular horror films, especially Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. In romantic comedies, you have Date Movie, which mocks typical romantic tropes, cliches, and the formulaic nature of the genre. In sci-fi, you have Spaceballs, a parody of Star Wars, and science fiction movies in general. For musicals, you have The Producers. Although it's more of a satire of Broadway, the film parodies musical theater with an over-the-top storyline of creating a surefire flop musical to make money, full of ridiculous characters and songs. There are even historical epics, with Robin Hood Men in Tights, a parody of historical adventure films, blending slapstick and wordplay to poke fun at classic stories and cliches. While there have been a few superhero parodies, Deadpool does play with the superhero genre, deconstructing and mocking superhero tropes with a self-aware, irreverent tone, breaking the fourth wall and subverting expectations. Parody movies appeal because they allow audiences to laugh at the things they know and love, while also offering a more critical perspective on the media and cultural trends they consume. Whether through exaggeration, satire, or just good old-fashioned humor, these films provide a unique blend of comedy and commentary. And on today's episode of the podcast, we've got a parody movie for you. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'll be reviewing Our Man Flint from 1966. It was directed by Daniel Mann, who helmed drama Come Back Little Sheba, Tennessee Williams' adaptation The Rose Tattoo, and Lillian Roth biopic I'll Cry Tomorrow. The screenplay was co-written by Hal Finberg, who scribed spy sequel In Like Flint, slapstick comedy The Big Store, and rom-com musical You Can't Ration Love. And Ben Starr, who penned episodes of All in the Family and Different Strokes, and created series The Facts of Life and Silver Spoons. It stars James Coburn as Derek Flint. Born in Laurel, Nebraska, into a working-class family, he attended UCLA and studied acting under the tutelage of renowned teacher Stella Adler. After serving in the U.S. Army, Coburn moved to New York City and began his acting career in television and theater before transitioning to film. Coburn's breakout role came in The Magnificent Seven, a classic Western directed by John Sturges. He played Britt, a sharpshooter with a calm, cool demeanor. Though he was part of an ensemble cast led by Steve McQueen and Yul Brynner, Coburn's performance stood out for its quiet, confident, and precise, almost minimalist approach to the role. The success solidified Coburn as a leading man in westerns and adventure films, and he would later become a quintessential figure in these genres. While Coburn's career was initially defined by westerns, the mid-1960s marked a shift when Coburn became an iconic figure in the spy genre in the Flint series. In The Great Escape, he played Flying Officer Sedgwick, known for his attempts to escape from a German POW camp. Duck You Sucker, directed by the great Sergio Leone, is a grittier, more cynical revision of the Western genre, with Coburn portraying John H. Mallory, an Irish explosive expert. By the mid-1970s, Coburn's career entered a slump as the film industry shifted toward more character-driven drama and more gritty realism. After a cameo appearance in The Muppet Movie, he was cast in Death of a Soldier, Young Guns 2, Hudson Hawk, Eraser, and Maverick. But his career experienced a resurgence in the late 1990s, particularly with his Oscar-winning performance in Affliction. Directed by Paul Schrader, the film saw Coburn play Glenn Whitehouse, an abusive alcoholic father in a deeply tragic and powerful portrayal, earning him widespread critical acclaim, including the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. James Coburn's legacy is rooted in his remarkable ability to portray tough, compelling characters who embodied a coolness and complexity that set him apart from his contemporaries. His legacy lives on through his unforgettable roles, his ability to transform a character with subtlety and power, and his influence on subsequent generations of actors who seek to combine toughness with complexity. Our Man Flint also features Lee J. Cobb, Gila Golan, Edward Mulhare, and Benson Fong. This is something to look out for. It was used as the Nelson Institute in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. So let's jump into it. In a world where international tensions are high, a shadowy organization known as Galaxy has developed a doomsday device capable of altering the course of global events. Led by a trio of mad scientists, Dr. Krupov, Dr. Wu, and Dr. Schneider, their goal is to manipulate world powers for their own benefit, and they pose a serious threat to international peace. The U.S. government struggles to find a solution, and while they have a capable team of agents, they quickly realize that their standard procedures won't work against a sophisticated threat like Galaxy. Enter super spy Derek Flint, a master of various martial arts, an expert in gadgets, a ladies' man, and highly intelligent. However, Flint isn't the typical agent. He's a loner, choosing to work independently and defy authority. His methods are unconventional, often bordering on the absurd, but his results speak for themselves. Flint's investigation reveals that Galaxy is planning a global catastrophe in order to force the world's governments to give in to their demands. The fate of the world rests in Flint's hands, and he must use every resource at his disposal to stop the nefarious organization and save the day. Here's a quote without context: "Control the weather, and you control the world." Our Man Flint is a comedic take on the spy genre that directly satirizes the success of the James Bond franchise. While Bond films like Goldfinger had set the standard for suave, gadget-laden secret agents, Our Man Flint pushed the envelope further by exaggerating and mocking the conventions that had made Bond a global sensation. The film works as both a playful parody and as a unique entry in the spy action genre, offering sharp commentary on masculinity, power, and espionage in 1960s popular culture. Derek Flint embodies the peak of 1960s American masculinity, handsome, athletic, intelligent, and impeccably dressed. Unlike the more traditionally heroic figures of the time, Flint rejects the systems that place him at the center of the action. He does the job, but on his own terms. His use of gadgets, his martial arts skills, and his ability to talk his way out of any situation positions him as an almost flawless individual. This perfect spy motif is played up for comedic effect. Flint is so good that it's almost absurd. One of the most notable aspects of Our Man Flint is its portrayal of technology and gadgets. They're not just plot devices, they're a symbol of Flint's elevated, almost otherworldly competence. By making the gadgets so ridiculous, the film also comments on the growing role of technology in espionage narratives. In doing so, it remains a lighthearted yet clever commentary on the absurdity of espionage fiction and the era in which it was made. Now for a little trivial trivia. James Coburn being suspended between two chairs was incorporated into the script when he was seen doing it on set. Our Man Flint was produced and distributed by 20th Century Fox. It was filmed at Malibu Creek State Park, Scattergood Power Plant, Washington Dulles International Airport, and the USS Yorktown. The cinematography was captured by Daniel L. Fapp, whose filmography includes epic war film The Great Escape, Elvis musical Fun in Acapulco, and thriller Ice Station Zebra. He won an Academy Award for Best Cinematography Color for West Side Story. It was edited by William Reynolds, who worked on sci-fi classic The Day the Earth Stood Still, musical adaptation Hello, Dolly, crime drama The Godfather, and family drama Turning Point. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Film Editing of The Sound of Music and The Sting. The score was composed by Jerry Goldsmith, who wrote the music for dystopian sci-fi epic Planet of the Apes, war drama Patton, neo-noir mystery Chinatown, and black horror comedy Gremlins. He won an Academy Award for Best Music Original Score of The Omen. The runtime is 1 hour 48 minutes. It had a budget of $3 million and grossed $13 million at the box office. It produced a sequel, In Like Flint, in 1967, directed by Gordon Douglas, with James Coburn reprising the role. In 1972, a teleplay was written by Harlan Ellison, but the studio passed and it went unproduced. A television movie, Dead on Target, was filmed for ABC, with Ray Danton in the role of Derek Flint. On the Ski Index, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you've seen Our Man Flint and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag MattWatchThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Watch That Playback. John Stamos, known for his charm, incredible hair, and undeniable talent, has played an array of memorable roles and consistently evolved as an artist. Born in Cypress, California to a Greek-American family, he was drawn to performance at a young age. He skipped his first semester at college to pursue acting, and 3 weeks later, was cast as Blackie Parrish on the soap opera General Hospital. His portrayal of the bad boy with a heart of gold was a hit, earning him a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1983. Stamos quickly became a soap opera heartthrob, which opened many opportunities. On July 4, 1985, he was invited to play drums for the Beach Boys at the Washington Monument, and would tour with them when his schedule allowed. In 1987, Stamos secured his most iconic role to date, Uncle Jesse Katsopoulos on the hit sitcom Full House. The show, centered on a widowed father raising 3 daughters with the help of his brother-in-law and best friend, became a cultural phenomenon. As the handsome, Elvis-loving, and sensitive uncle, Stamos became a household name. His famous catchphrase, "Have mercy," became synonymous with his charming character. Full House ran for 8 seasons, cementing Stamos as a mainstay of the TGIF era of television. After Full House ended in 1995, Stamos appeared in numerous made-for-television movies, stage productions, and commercials. He starred in 2 short-lived series, Thieves and Jake in Progress, before finding success on ER as Dr. Tony Gates, a role that showcased his dramatic chops and earned him critical acclaim. He was part of the long-running ensemble cast on the medical drama, and his performance was praised for bringing depth and emotional resonance to his character. In 2016, Stamos returned to Full House through the Netflix revival Fuller House, where he reprised his beloved role as Uncle Jesse. The show brought back the nostalgic magic of the original while introducing the next generation of the Tanner family members. The series was a success, especially with fans who grew up with the original show, and Stamos' return was celebrated by both new and old audiences alike. Stamos is a prime example of a star who has successfully navigated the changing tides of Hollywood, consistently reinventing himself and remaining relevant in the hearts of audiences everywhere. Whether on TV, in music, or on stage, John Stamos' legacy is one of immense talent, charm, and enduring popularity. Now, I've selected a couple of clips where John Stamos appeared on Drumeo. Now, I know he plays a variety of instruments, with drums being his main gig, but I honestly didn't realize how talented he was. And these two clips really show how he breaks down learning the drums. They're all available in the Matt Watch That Playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about High Fidelity. It tells the story of Rob Gordon, a 30-something record store owner in Chicago who's just been dumped by his long-term girlfriend Laura, and embarks on a journey of self-reflection, revisiting his past relationships and attempting to understand where things went wrong. It stars John Cusack, who earned a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor, Jack Black, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Lisa Bonet, and Sarah Gilbert. It also features Eben Hedgel, Todd Luizzo, Lily Taylor, Tim Robbins, and Joan Cusack. The romantic comedy drama was directed by Stephen Frears and based on the novel by Nick Hornby. At its core, High Fidelity is a film about self-discovery, nostalgia, and the complexities of relationships. Rob's love for music acts as both a source of solace and a way to process his emotions, with the soundtrack playing a key role in the storytelling. As Rob attempts to win Laura back, he learns that true growth and understanding comes from within, and that love is not just about the perfect playlist, but about vulnerability and emotional connection. High Fidelity explores themes of love, regret, and the difficulty of moving on, all the while offering a humorous and heartfelt portrayal of the life of a self-absorbed man learning to let go of the past and embrace the future. That's all for this edition of Matt Watch That. Thanks for listening to me babble. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or suggestions as to what movie or TV pilot I should see, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the reviews, rants, and randomness. They can offer a more critical. It was filmed at Malibu Creek State Park. Creek Steak?